Hey, folks, welcome to our weekend edition of What's Going On in the Experience here on Fox Sports 1280. And I'm Nate Brown Jr. here in Rochester, and I got the crew scattered all out the country. I got my man Ryan V down in NYC. What up, guys? Sag Harbor. Y'all playing golf down there, buddy? The
That's
Open.
right. Home of this year's U.S. Open, guys. Deadlock traffic. You can't get anywhere. What's normally a 15-minute drive is now a 3-hour and 15-minute drive.
Shinnecock.
Welcome to summer in the Hamptons. There you go.
Shinnecock. And then I got my man Joe. Say it is so. Minnesota Joe. What up, Mr. Hill? How you doing, Peabody?
You caught me right in the middle of doing my thing, but I had to come on to acknowledge you and the New York
You ain't
Knickerbockers.
gotta acknowledge mine, black ass. I ain't getting no money from the chips. I just happen to like them. And I got
Well,
my
look,
man. I ain't getting no coins. I got my man
you
Greg
understand?
V looking all chilly.
Look
GV
at it.
23
The
355. Our man. And he ain't taking no dive. What up, Greg?
What up, Nate? Good. Hey, Junior, congratulations. I'm like Joe. We got to give you your flowers. You know what? It's well deserved. And I'm proud of you this year because you were off the bag wagon, on the bag wagon. You weren't even a
Oh,
Mike
here we
Brown
go.
fan. We can go
I
back and play all
knew
the
he
clips.
had something
We
to
can play.
say. I
We
knew
can
it.
play. We can play all the clips.
We
Cat ate the guy. Cat got to do
Oh, I never
something.
said that.
Now
I
it's
never. Ryan, you got
uh,
to bring up the clips, Ryan. Ryan, see, because he's telling stories, and we
There's
got
one
proof.
thing.
We got
One
uh,
receipts,
thing,
man. We got receipts, and I ain't never said
hey,
that.
hey, hey,
and in that
hey,
vein,
right. I know.
We have to
Go
look through
I
the
ahead,
just
Joe.
archives.
want to say, Cat, Kat, no cortisone.
He's still hating on Cat. That's the Cat hater, right? But we fleeced Minnesota and getting Cat because we gave him no handle Randall, Ryan. We gave him no handle Randall. We gave Dante. We could have used Dante, but at the end of the day, the Knicks did what they were supposed to have done. And for me, I'm in Jalen Brunson mode. Jalen Brunson is like, it's cool for the naysayers. It's no big deal. We got it. Because at the end of the day, Ryan, this was a historical run, though. I mean, 16-3 on their way to the chip. I think it was number one. You sent me the stats. It was the number one differential in terms of points. I mean, they really, really, really did a good job, Ryan. Help me out, man, because some
Well,
folks is hating on the bad boys.
and the comebacks. You got to talk
Oh,
about the
well, we're gonna talk about the comebacks, but let's talk about the run 16-3, Ryan.
I mean, like you said, a historic run. And at first you wonder, wow, are they playing these horrible teams? And then you soon realize that, wow, these Knicks are on a magical run, and it's magic moment after magic moment. Brunson can just get a bucket. The hardest thing to do in basketball, as Victor Wembanyama just learned, is getting buckets when it matters. And Brunson might play horrible for 3/4 at times, but when he comes through in those final 12 minutes of the game and just puts everybody on his back, he showed everyone that that's what a champion is made of. Forget about regular season MVP. So, and this is coming from the Knicks hater, mind you. But yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, it was definitely an epic run. Now, I also want to say it was also a run that was filled with historic chokes. So not only did it have some great basketball and great comebacks, but also had some miserable basketball from the viewpoint of a Spurs fan, like a team that I'm surprised even made it that far, considering how young they were and the amount of errors that were made. I mean, their best, seemingly to me, the best player on the court was my man Ron Harper's son, who's a rookie. And they didn't even give him any grind in the fourth quarter. So there's a lot to take away from it, and we're gonna break it all down today. But yeah,
Okay,
Nick,
so
Nate, hats off to you, man.
no, no,
Go,
no, no,
you
no.
guys did
Listen,
it.
listen. I just been a Knicks fan since 1965, so I've been going through ups and downs. The Knicks, they went to the championship seven times. Out of the 7 times, they won 3. So, Greg, you're the athlete here, man. In terms of that run that they made, what does that stand for you? Because you cover, you baseball, sports, football. As the athlete, man, what does that run come for you?
No, I think it's a testament. I think it's a testament to Mike Brown. I think it goes back to the front office too. For much smoke as the front office gets, they got out of the way and let the guys do what they're supposed to do. Right? They
Okay.
let Mike Brown do his thing. You know, he came in, implemented his style of basketball, defense, and volume shots. Remember, earlier in the year, earlier in the season, we were talking about all the threes and how everyone disagreed with how they played, right?
Mhm.
They went back to cat in the high post and running offense through him. So I think it's a testament, and I think it's good for basketball, man. I think the city of New York and Jalen Brunson is a dog, man. I mean, he's a killer, and I just think he competes like no other. And for all the guys that they say are too small or can't do this, can't do that, I think Jalen Brunson's one of those guys that shows you can be the man in the NBA. And the supporting cast was big. Previously the last couple of years we talked about them not even using the supporting cast.
Right.
This year, we showed how. I mean, even Alvarado when he came in and took the pressure off Brunson, so he didn't have to have the ball, right? And freed up guys. OG Chief is another killer, man. He plays the right way. What you seen this year was they all played for the name on the front and they took care of the back, right? They all played for the New York Knicks. They played for the name on the front and they took care of the back.
But you've always said that,
Ryan
Greg.
said,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
yeah,
cut you off, but you've always said that.
But it's easier said than done. You know what I mean? It's especially in basketball, these guys have been getting paid since they've been 11, 12, 13 years old, right? And if they didn't like AAU coach, they switched teams and
Mhm.
somebody else gave them money, and so these guys, it's a little bit more temperamental than the rest of the sports. Where you had to grind, and the rest of the stuff. You know what I mean? All the other sports, you got minor leagues and you got football. It's a little different, man. These guys have been put on a pedestal, like I said, since 11, 12. So they're used to playing for the name on the back and not so much the front. So it's a testament to Mike Brown. I'm happy for him. My great Sacramento Kings fired him, just like we fired Malone before that. So Doug Christie's a buddy of mine. If we fire Doug Christie, maybe he'll get a chip too, because everybody we fired gets a chip in the next 1 or 2 years.
That sounds about right. So, Joe, what's your takeaway? Because, like you said, you didn't like Big Cat. You chased him out of town. Now he got a chip. He's telling you to kick rocks and bottle tops. You're stuck with No Handle Randall. The word is out. You're trying to get rid of him too, right about now. So what's up?
Well, we traded an underperformer for an underperformer in the trade. But what happened when Cat got to, finally, as Greg said, Mike Brown finally used him properly. There's still a lot of things about Cat I personally don't like. And if you look at the fourth quarter, and I'm going to be negative for just a little.
This is a critique, brother. We're critiquing.
If you look at the fourth quarter with Cat, that's why I said he has no heart, because he wasn't there. If you look at his stats in the fourth quarter when they needed him, he disappeared. He was either on the bench with too many fouls, or if he was in the game, he didn't do anything. Brunson carried them in the fourth quarter. And let me tell you about Brunson. No, hands down, they can talk about every other player in the NBA. To me, he's the most valuable player in the NBA, especially this year, because look, you can call people stars, you can call them superstars. Everybody who's good can perform in regular times, regular games. It's only true stars, big dogs, that can perform in the fourth quarter of every game and close games out. And that's what Brunson did. I mean, he closed games out all the time. You could always count on him. And he scored on everybody. Did you see what he did to Wembanyama?
He took him in the milkshaker. He shook him like a salt shaker.
He hit threes on Wembanyama. This guy's 6'2". He's doing impossible stuff. So, and the reason I was against the Knicks, and you already know this, Nate, it wasn't the players, it wasn't the team.
Oh, you just don't like.
No, it's the Knicks fans.
Just fans.
Collectively. Because, and you're an exception. I'll say this to you. You like sports, you know sports, and you respect players on other teams.
Oh, you got
what
to.
What I don't like about Knicks fans, and I'm generalizing, they don't pay attention to the sport. Like Yankee fans, they have no respect for players on any other team in the sport. It's all about their team or nothing at all. That's why I don't like Knicks fans.
But nailed it. Nailed it. I got to say one thing here, because I've been thinking about this all week, and this is to all the Mets fans out there. We got to see what you Mets fans would act like if you were to win a World Series.
But
Because no Yankees fans are acting that way. That type of behavior. That's Mets fan behavior. No
no,
offense, Nate.
see, why y'all got to interject
It's
negativity and positivity? At the end of the day, right? It ain't like the Mets ain't never won. So stop it. And so they won.
most Mets fans have
But
never
listen,
sniffed
the
victory.
Mets have won. They haven't tore up the city. I'm surprised that the Knicks fans, Greg, have not torn up the city. The city still is intact. It ain't tear up the city. I told Joe, I said, Joe, I prefer them to win on the road so they can have a couple of days to party before the team gets here. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more on Knicks. And I also want to see how they're going to show up that bench. Will Dolan be cheap? Will Cat give some money back? Because that's all predicated. Can they make a run 2 out of 3? Some of y'all said this is it for them, but I don't know. We'll be right back. This is what's going on in the experience. Hanging out with the haters and the haterade. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, folks. This is Father's Day, right? Because we air on a Sunday. So this is Father's Day. And fathers, it's time to rise, lead, and create a legacy. The Healthy Baby Network Father Program is empowering men and strengthening families every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on at 19 Jones Avenue. So join them for real conversation, real growth, and real brotherhood. And by the way, do not miss out today on the second annual Father Barbecue. That's today, Sunday the 21st at 3 p.m. also at Jones Avenue. This year, they're proud to partner with Sweet Ida May to present the Fatherhood Awards, honoring fathers making a difference in our community. For more information, contact my man Otis Newsom or Randolph Mills at 585-546-4930. Healthy Babies Fatherhood Network, building fathers, strengthening families, changing generations. Speaking of changing generations, Jackson State. Before I get to the rest of the Knicks, I thought this goes into the Knicks and Jalen Brunson. Jackson State just hired my man Kendrick Perkins as the general manager for the college. I'm so happy for athletics. Let me tell you why I'm happy for Kendrick Perkins. Because when everybody in the media world for the last 3 to 4 years, Greg, Joe, Ryan, the only one that stayed on Jalen Brunson's tip and say he was big body Brunson was Kendrick Perkins. The only man that said he gonna bring home the chip was Kendrick Perkins. The only man that said he was the league's MVP was Kendrick Perkins. So I'm so happy that his insight into sports and athletic, because he wasn't the best, but Kendrick Perkins always had heart. And he recognized heart, Greg, and that heart's going to Jackson State as the GM for athletics. Greg, what do you think about that move for Kendrick Perkins?
No, I think I think it's good for college sports. I think it's good for Jackson State. I think with Big Perk, I think he's someone who's always stayed true to himself, right? He doesn't
Yes.
care if he ruffles feathers. And he gives his opinion, and that's all it is. It's his opinion, but he stays true to it. And so, with that being said, you know what you're getting, right? You're not getting any fluff. You're not getting. You're not going to have to guess what he's thinking. He's going to let you know what he's thinking all the time, and it doesn't mean if you don't have to agree with him, but he sticks by it, like you said. Big body Brunson. I mean, he's been saying that all day long, all year
Yep.
long for the last 2 years, right? He just said he needed some help, and I think it's just one of those situations where, it's going to be good for the sport. It's good to see these guys go back and be GMs and help,
Mm-hmm.
generate revenue for schools and get kids that look like us scholarships and get some of that bread that they're giving out.
So, Joe, he is also going to be responsible, like Greg said, GV said, for NIL, and instituting getting the NIL together for for the students and the athletes, as well as the fundraising, and I think that's a positive thing because you see various black athletes going back to HBCUs either as coaches or as GMs. Greg, so Joe, so we think about that for big body for big Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, I think it's there's so many good things about that connection. And everybody's already talked about, Kendrick Perkins being a real person, a real black man, not a phony. And also, if you look at NIL and what's going on in college sports, every college needs a general manager because it's turned into professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Perkins has professional connections. He has the name. Jackson State, is one of the HBCUs that many people across the country recognize. And this goes to what Ryan Clark was talking about a few weeks ago, that our young people, black young athletes, need to stop going, and I call them the lynching states, need to stop going to lynching state schools that are once again disenfranchising African American voters. Every one of those states should not, the Alabamas and the Mississippis and the LSUs, all of those Confederate states that have done nothing but have their foot on the backs of black people's necks
Mm-hmm.
forever. Black athletes shouldn't be going to those universities. And so hopefully some of those kids, especially down south, that may have gone to some of the, especially schools like Auburn with Tommy Tupperville, the Klansman.
He's a
Why the
class.
hell would you ever go to Auburn? Anyway, maybe Kendrick and other general managers can get some of those, because a lot of great athletes come from the South, get them to stay near home, but go to HBCUs and not lynching state
and,
schools.
and actually, Ryan, during our little run with the NCAA, I had a chance to see Howard play up front, and they for one half they gave Michigan the business, but after that, Michigan ran them out of the gym. But it wasn't that like they did. It wasn't like they couldn't compete with them. They ain't have the Giants because Michigan had a big squad. Greg, they didn't have the Giants, but for one half, it was looking like some Cinderella up in there. Okay, so it's not that they can't compete. If they can get those athletes like Ryan, like Joe said, to come and look at them, because the money will probably be the same if you do the right thing. The money can always work itself out, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure you got a competitive squad, Ryan, and put a good product on the floor. So to see athletes like, Perk go back and give some insight to the next generation, what do you think about that?
I like it. I want to see good schools have good things happen to them. Like Joe says, there are, as you'd say, lynch states down there that have despicable faculty that have been there probably forever. And I would love to see students go to schools that deserve to have them and that would appreciate them more. And if Kendrick Perkins leads to that happening and other NBA greats that have a name and that know how to hopefully be a good GM or find a great involvement in some of these schools, they'll elevate it to the next level. So I only see it being a good thing for all parties attached.
And not
Good for
just
Kendrick
NBA, but also NFL.
Yeah.
Any of these guys, especially African Americans, with a brain and a name, it'd be great to see them as GMs. By the way, off the subject, but on the subject, did you guys, I don't know if you know this, there are an awful lot of athletic directors, including at Vanderbilt, major colleges that are now African American females.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole story to be done on that. How
Yeah.
many African American females now are athletic directors at
Well, not only
major
that, and
universities?
HBCUs as well, and that's a story that we're going to talk about and discuss. But let's just wrap this particular segment up and go right back, because I want to go back to the Knicks right quick, because before we left, we talked about them having some money on the board and how they're going to deal with that, Ryan, and how they're going to work that out. I think we got to take a quick break. So when we come back, we're going to dissect that. How much money they got? Will James Dolan be cheap? He don't like the mayor of New York, Greg. He don't like that guy. Okay, they were beefing. That was pretty interesting. But at the end of the day, how much loot
See,
is Cat willing to give up? Because that's
see,
where
he
it's
should
going to
just stay out the
start.
way. See, he stayed
And
out of the way.
and
He
let's
stayed out of
talk
the way
about
all
that.
year.
Exactly. Stay out
Yeah,
of the
now
way.
he
And that's what Dolan,
stayed.
Leon Rose was such a great hire. And James Dolan finally, as an owner, made the right moves and stepped back. We talk about this almost every show about guys like Jerry Jones taking too much control, owners taking too much control. And there needs to be that middle ground. And I think that Dolan did exactly that. He appeared on that Jalen Brunson podcast with Josh Hart. I felt like that was a likable fun move to add the chemistry. It was a different James Dolan than what we saw with Charles Oakley, all the scandals and allegations. He seemed a lot better, although he was beefing, I guess, with the mayor, which I guess we'll get into.
He beats with the mayor all the time. We're gonna take a quick break,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna
And
beef with
that's why I
nobody.
like the mayor.
And that's why you like the mayor, because the mayor says free bus rides and train rides for the next 6 months in New York. We'll be right back. New York, New York. We'll be right back. Folks, welcome back to What's Going On in the Experience here on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeartMedia. And you can catch us on a whole bunch of other platforms. And we're on the table. Those platforms are a little later on in the show. But right now, I got this game I want to play. And it's called You're the GM. So you're the Knicks GM for the next season, gentlemen. And you get a chance to do what you got to get done and see if the Knicks could go back to back. Now, I got some people in there thinking they can go nothing to nothing. So, well, I'm going to go with you, Greg. You're the Knicks GM. What do you do to tweak the Knicks if you can for them to get to a back-to-back or even two within 3 years? What do you do, GM, GV?
I think you got to find a way to keep those key pieces together, right? And I think you have to add maybe one more wing. You know what I mean? Because as much smoke as Mikal Bridges got, I mean, he played his ass off in the finals, right? He made buckets. I mean, he went from coming off the starting to coming off the bench to making buckets. I just think you need someone that's a little bit more reliable, but I don't think you have to tinker with too much. I think as long as you got that heartbeat of Jalen Brunson and Mike Brown, I think, hey, you just run it back. You just try to add where you can add, and I think they learned that Brunson can play without the ball in his hands. So
Yes.
I think you might have to add maybe one more point guard. I know he did tremendous job for those guys, but one more point guard because they were at their best when Brunson didn't have the pressure of having the ball in his hand the whole time.
All right, Joe, you're the GM. What do you do, like Greg said, if the Knicks can run it back? And remember, Cat's got money that he has to get. I think they got to pay Mitchell Robinson. They got to pay Landry Shaman if they want to do this. So what say you, Joseph?
Well, first of all, let me just talk about this new trend of athletes giving money back. That's absolutely bullcrap. There's no way that it's not Cat's responsibility he's not the GM. Not his responsibility to give money back. Pay him, much as I don't like him, pay the man, and he doesn't have to give money back. What you got to do is make sure that those bench players that you have now get paid, if not huge amount more, then a little more. $1 million. I mean, we think of it as nothing, but $1 million or $2 to some of those bench players to keep them happy, to make sure they stay Knicks. That's one thing. They need, I think, a forward, a rebounding wing that can also score and hit free throws. They also, I think, need another point guard, a backup point guard with a little more size than Alvarado. But the main thing is they need to keep as many players on that championship team coming back. And yeah, they can repeat.
Okay. What say you, Rye guy? Clipper, Mr. Clipper?
Yes. Yeah.
Mr.
Hopefully
Clip
we can get into
City?
that one of these days. But I agree with Joe. Run it back. I mean, the NBA, think about this, guys. 8 different teams have won the finals in the last 8 years.
Right.
And of all those teams, I think all of us have been guilty of thinking that there'd be a repeat. Even last year, I thought that SGA. I mean, it's just the talent. Nothing against them. The players are greater than ever. They're so skilled, but there's not like this dominant player, a LeBron James, a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant that you have to run into in the playoffs. A Steph Curry, exactly. So it's wide open. The big piece that could be missing next year, I believe one of you guys mentioned, was Mitchell Robinson, who could leave this year. And if I'm the Knicks, that is the number one move that I'm making. I know you guys mentioned that they could use another point guard. If they can keep or retain the team, or at least similar players with similar skill sets and talent level to what they have now, which won't be that hard. Leon Rose just put on a masterclass. I think the Knicks have a really good chance at a repeat. And I'm not saying it's like the next best team since the Warriors either. It's just the NBA set up for it. And if they get on another one of these runs where they can just roll teams over, and there's not enough experienced teams out there to stop them. Like that's what it was to me with the Spurs, was just the inexperience. I feel like with the right coaching and the right temperament, they could have stopped those historic collapses, right? Like a 30-point comeback is not happening against the Thunder. But that being said, yes, I would definitely keep the team as is, as best as possible, and re-sign Mitchell Robinson, Mr.
Okay.
Broken Pinky, playing through that broken pinky.
So here's the deal. I got to go to defer to my man Greg, because Greg says something that's why I love him on the show. Great having an athlete. Bar injuries. I'm going to start like that. Okay.
Injury.
I'm going to start because Greg has taught me one thing.
Yep.
Is being in this space, like barring injuries. If the Knicks, because remember, OKC had a massive injuries when on their way, and Joe said they had two major ones. And who knows if they could have beaten San Antonio with a healthy roster. Now, Greg also told me you play who's in front of you, so you can't get upset about that. Just like last year when the Knicks lost to fake Halliburton and the jumper that went in the air and then came down, and I'm like, this guy can't even play basketball. Greg said, take it on the chin, son. I took it on the chin. But at the end of the day, Greg, I'm going back to you. Health is everything, my brother. Am I right or wrong for any kind of repeat run?
For any type of run, period. You're only as healthy as your roster, right? And OKC was hands down by everybody, the experts, the no experts, the non-experts. OKC was a team. But when when the backup point guard, when he got hurt, and then when Jay Will couldn't play, it just showed, they were vulnerable. You know what I mean? It was too much on SGA's plate. And Wemby played his ass off. You got to tip your hat to them. And San Antonio did what they had to do, just like the Knicks did what they had to do, but barring injury, right? So if they can bar injury, I think the Knicks have a good chance. But you also have to remember Boston's not going anywhere, right? Now they're talking about getting rid of Brown and bringing the Giannis over there. So it's repeating's tough, dude. I think what we need to do. We need to sip on some good wine, enjoy what the Knicks have just done, and celebrate this.
Some GV23.
Yes, sip on some GV23, and just embrace what the Knicks have done. It's been 53 years. Let's not get caught up in talking about next year yet. I mean, Nate, I know we haven't got on your Mets, but your Mets are playing better. I told you Bo's going to do what he's supposed to do, and
you did say
I told you Soto's going to do what he's supposed to do as you're taking off hats and throwing hats in the garbage and taking them out 2 weeks
Come
later.
on, man, I don't do any of that. See how he embellishes? Ryan, why get the guy who's embellishes? The guy embellishes, man. I mean, you at 355, not 400. You don't see me embellishing the numbers, money.
Hey, the numbers are the numbers. Facts are facts.
Yeah, Joe.
I gotta say this, and Nate, you already know this. I am who I am, and I look at everything through political eyes. And I am so happy, not only that did the Knicks win this year, but with the mayor, Mamdani, and the speech he gave at the celebration. I don't know if anybody really heard that,
heard it.
but not only can he govern, but he can speak. It was Obama like what he had to say about the victory bringing New Yorkers together. I thought he recited basically poetry.
Well. It has brought folks. I mean, anytime that the Mets and Yankee fans could sit at the table, Greg, and toss one back. Anytime Islanders and Rangers fans, because just think about it, because we have our silo fans, okay, and that's what happens in sports in big towns. I mean, Joe, you're from Chicago, the White Sox, the Cubs, you know how that works, man. Come on, so anytime there's rivalries in town, it's a good thing. But at the end of the day, they needed this in New York because honestly, the economy is in the tanks. We got a fake war that they fake stop, fake start. It's just ridiculous. People don't know some of the people don't know where their next meals are coming from. So I mean, you're right, Greg. At the end of the day, yeah, this is cool, but there are a lot of other bigger things in life that folks have to get past and deal with. Ryan, we're going to take another quick break. And when we come back for our final segment, we're all going to talk about some baseball. And Joe, I need you to give us a WNBA update if you got, because I know you saw a couple of those games, and those ladies are doing very well in the WNBA. I'm telling you. Finally, Greg, Angel Reese had a real double-double. I mean, 22 points. I mean, not 11 or 9.
You need to get off of Angel. Angel Reese has been playing bad.
No, I know. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Greg. I'm hard on Angel. Listen, I'm hard on 2 people in WNBA. Who am I hard on, Joe? Angel
Caitlin
Reese
Clark
and
and
Caitlin
Angel
Clark.
Reese.
I'm hard on the fake Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, rivalry. I'm hard on
There's
that.
nothing fake about
I'm
her.
hard on the fake Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. We're gonna be right back. Angel Reese scored more than 11
It draws
points.
in fans. It deals with American racism and draws in fans.
Come on, man. This is a fake rivalry. When they be making fake stuff up, man. The game is already good. You don't need to make that up, man. Ephesian Collier, my girl Asia Wilson, them chicks are doing their thing, man. Come on. They doing their thing. To connect with the tempo up in Toronto, they are playing good ball. You don't need a lot of the fake contrived
They're trying
madness.
to get. They're trying. It's a whole thing of creating interest,
Yeah,
whether
well,
you like it or not.
I know, but it's fake, and we'll be right back because ain't nothing fake here. This is what's going on in the experience on Fox Sports 1280, iHeartMedia, and the Knicks
fake.
play basketball. Check it out. We'll be right
You
back.
fake.
You fake. Hey, folk, welcome back to this Father's Day edition of What's Going On in the Experience. And all you dads out there, and all you granddads, happy Father's Day, because they don't really give papas no props. I know everybody loves Mother's Day, trust me. But without fathers, come on. We do what we do. I know some of us get on each other's nerves, but we fathers. That's what fathers do. So grandpops, uncles, all you guys out there, fathers, happy Father's Day. Enjoy yourself. If you just want to go chill out, play some golf like GV does, do that. Okay? If you want to just cool out and watch a baseball game, do that as well. But do what you want to do. Okay? Speaking of doing what we want to do, October 3rd, Greg, October 3rd, the wine festival is coming back, Greg. I know you're going to be back in the building with us. They love you. They're going to be back. Ryan, you got to come up. Hopefully Greg can come in for that. We got enough time, man. Joe got to get you in town. It's going to be at the Temple Building October 3rd from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I think that's a Saturday. We're going to have 5 to 6 vendors in. We also, Greg, going to be doing a tasting with the different foods. Okay, we're going to pair
so
that, and then we're going to also have different theme rooms. Yes. Okay, and I need to talk to you about the pairings too. Yeah, I need to talk to you about that. And we're also having theme rooms because the place is big enough, so we have a room for you could take a little massage with the therapy chair. Then if you want to go and chill out over Joe, stop it, Joe. Stop it. October 3rd, y'all. That's all I got to say. More information is coming, early bird tickets. He is a bad boy. He is a very bad boy. Your mind is in the gutter. We'll be right. Your mind's in the gutter, man. I'm just trying to tell you. I know you. Okay, so it's a spa, man. It's a massage, back massage.
Joe's
no happy endings.
Yeah, Joe's talking about happy endings.
Yes, he's doing some Robert Kraft stuff. We ain't even talking about football. This happy ending. Get out of here. But speaking of that, Greg, it's going to be great. And I'm excited again, man. And they were asking for the wine last episode, so I'm just excited. And we're going to talk about pairing, too, because we're going to do that. But speaking of pairings, right quick, Ryan, the Yankees, you at the game the other day, you and the fellas. Give us a Yankee update. Because they don't got no Aaron Judd. And right now, Aaron Judd ain't the king of New York no more. It's Jalen Brunson. Aaron was the king for a while. Now it's Jalen. Aaron got to get a ring. Well, he ain't going to be no king.
How about Ben Rice?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Benny Rice, man, taking over the reins.
Break it down.
As the captain's guy. So it was a great game. The first experience, I had brought my 2 sons to their first Yankees game. And my one son, Theo, big Ben Rice fan. And Ben Rice crushed a homer right to center field. And man, what an epic moment. But, the Yankees are looking good. The big question was, are the Yankees going to be okay without Aaron Judge. And in 2023, we all saw what happened. Misery. Terrible. Couldn't win a game. And now I believe they're 10-5 since the Aaron Judge injury. Everybody's stepping up. Cody Bellinger, what an epic re-signing by Brian Cash, the best outfielder that we've had in the last 10, 15 years. He's just so, he's going to catch the ball, and that's just such a good feeling, not something that we've always had in left field.
Well, and he's going to hit the ball. Who the hell would give up Cody Bellinger? I don't understand how you ever give that man.
Well, you know why? Because that was a major injury that he had, and it was jarring to see somebody who was slated to be maybe a top 5 player in MLB get an injury like that and have such a fall off with the Dodgers. You can only, you kind of understand why the Cubs did what they did, but wow, has it paid off for the Yankees? My God. And then we've got, of course, Dominguez back out there. Volpe playing as more of a role player, which seems to fit him a lot better, and he seems to be accepting of it. The big questions for the Yankees right now, as always, the bullpen, and we just need a catcher. And although we give Austin Wells a hard time, he's a great defensive catcher, but maybe a catcher that can just hit the ball a little bit more. Another jarring New York Yankees stat. Just look at the back of Austin Wells' baseball card from last year to this year. You'd think that he would have made some improvements. He was supposed to be this great hitting catcher, but we got to take a moment to give praise to the great Cam Schlittler. Greg and I, we talked about this earlier in the year, actually 1 week when you weren't here, Nate, about where does Cam Schlittler actually rank as a pitcher in Major League Baseball. And he's not this complex pitcher that's moving the ball around, has all these different pitch types. He just does what he does. Not like I don't want to say like Mariano Rivera, but Mariano Rivera was known for one pitch. Schlittler just has the sinker, the fastball, and he just gets you every time. He's simple, but it works. And I just witnessed in person 13 strikeouts in 6 innings.
13, yeah.
He's just that good. And this is the second time I've seen him pitch now. The first time was in the wild card game against the Red Sox, and he just passes the eye test for an ace. He's not just a great pitcher. He's the new Yankees ace.
Okay, and before I get to you, Joe,
let's see.
Let me get to Greg. So, Greg, chime in on that on the Stinkies and how good they're doing without Aaron Judge.
Well, once again, it's like the Knicks supporting cast, right? Everybody's doing their job, stepping up. You need Rice to do what he's been doing. I mean, he's taking over first base, and I mean he's out there every single day. I mean, hitting the ball harder than anybody in the whole league. As far as all these stats that they have, he's a good player. I think Bellinger is playing unbelievable baseball, and like I said, man, you need more than just one guy. And I used to say this all the time, especially when I played. Barry never won a won a chip, right? But goddamn, he needed help because Barry did what Barry's supposed to do. Judge does what he needs to do, but they need the rest of the Yankees to do it, right? And God forbid, I mean, if they ever did get a catcher that can hit, I don't know what, I don't know what the ceiling is for the Yankees. And what I mean. Wells, great kid, lives around the corner from me in Vegas. It's just, it's one of those things. He's a great defensive catcher, and he has it in him. As we mature, it'll come out. But if the Yankees have patience, I'm sure he will deliver. But if they go out and get somebody that can hit, but you got to watch out for these. I don't know, man. The Yankees remind me right now of the Brew Crew. The Brew Crew, they're dominating with their pitching. The Yankees are stealing bases. Bellinger, they're doing whatever it takes to win, right? And I think
playing small ball.
Yeah, and that's the same way the Brewers are, man. It's good to see guys move guys over. I mean, at one time the Brewers tied the game up, bunting 3 times in a row. You know what I mean? So the Yankees are doing, they're executing. They're the fundamentals, and that's what's been lost over the past few years. Where the analytics say don't bunt. Don't move runners over. Runs in the first inning don't matter. Shit, runs matter all the time. You know what I mean? People always look at the end of the game. Ryan, you were talking about the closer and the bullpen. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the before you get to the closer that makes a difference. Not moving runners over, not getting a run in with less than 2 outs. All that stuff does matter. It just happens to show up, in the 9th inning when you lose by 1 run. Oh, if the closer would have did this, no. If we would have got them 2 runs with less than 2 outs, it wouldn't have been that pressure on the closer, right? So there's a lot of different things that.
But you know what, Greg? I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's what's been happening with the Mets lately. They've been scoring with running scoring position. They have not been doing that, and I don't know how long, Greg. Marcus Semien is hitting the ball. Juan Soto don't look like Juan Noto no more. I mean, it's like they're playing situational baseball. You called it. Bo Bichette has finally come around. He looks comfortable. For me, he looks comfortable.
Well, I told you
At the
that.
beginning of the season, he never looked really
Well, you know what
comfortable.
though? I mean, he's going into a different locker room. And I know people say it doesn't matter. It does matter. It
Yeah,
does matter. And,
it
all he
does.
knew was Toronto, right? I mean, he
Right.
came up as a Yankee, but went to Toronto, and that's where he made a name for himself. And then you come over there and you have Lindor and you have Soto, and that's their team. Now you're the new guy. You're trying not to step on any toes. You're trying to fit in, and you're trying to live up to that bread that they gave you, right? So it does take
Mm-hmm.
some time. But what I tell you, Bo's gonna be Bo, right? Whether it,
You said
and
it.
Soto's gonna be Soto, and it's just one of those things, man. Guys have track records. We're not talking about guys that go up and down. We're talking about guys that have done this for a long time, and they're gonna do what they do, And no one wants to get off to a slow start. No one wants to hear booze in their home, in their home stadium. But that's just part of the game. There's so much information for the fans, for everybody now that people they comment all over the place. So, like I said, I'm happy for the Mets. I mean, I think it's good for baseball, and like I said, man, you got to be patient. I think if Ryan learned one thing, he was so impatient with the non-production of the off-season free agent market that look at how the Yankees
Yes.
turned out.
Look at his face.
Look how the Yankees turned out by all those moves that they didn't make and overspend for
That they didn't
that they
make.
didn't make.
The run it back Yanks. You're right, Greg. But honestly, how many times have they failed trying to pull off some type of run it back kind of move? So I mean, you can only and you're right though. I guess like when you really break it down, not even analytically, they got kind of pushed to the brink at the wild card. They went all in. If you were at that game, you were watching those Yankees Red Sox games. Those were intense games. Blue Jays got to rest a little bit, and I feel like they kind of were worn down a little bit, even though it was just a series going against the Blue Jays. And if the Yankees had won that series against the Blue Jays, who knows? Maybe they would have taken the Dodgers to 7 games and actually won. Because as we see, I mean, look how much better the Yankees are than the Blue Jays. Let's be honest. Just look at the
Hey,
two
Ryan,
teams.
Well,
Ryan, pump your brakes. Stop. Just enjoy what's going on this year. Enjoy what's going on. We can't live hypothetically. Like Nate said, I might have had 400 home runs instead of 355 if I didn't swing at all those balls in the dirt. I swung at the balls in the dirt. Shit happened. Shit happened. So,
and that's why he's a good
so,
golfer. That's why it's a good
so let's just enjoy the Yankee season this year. Last year,
That's why I
last
love
year is
Greg.
gone. Hypotheticals are no good. It's like
That's why I
it's
love
like the
him.
world we live in today with all this bullshit conspiracy theories. Hypotheticals, let it go. Just enjoy what the Yankees are doing this year.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Speaking of enjoying the fellas, you guys enjoy Father's Day. I'm sorry, Joe. Wrap it up, Joe. What you want to say?
Oh, I was just saying one quick thing about Bichette. Playing in New York, coming to New York to play is more than a notion.
It's
I'm talking about
intimidating,
you have to
dude.
get adjusted.
Yeah, it is. No, you really do, man. You really do. Because Greg even tell you, even coming in just to play a game, it's just crazy being in New York. Am I right,
Oh, yeah,
Greg?
hey man, you talk about passion. It's just like going to the SEC or the ACC for basketball, SEC for football. I mean, it's the Big Ten. You got to give shout outs to Big Ten in both. It's a
Yep.
way of life, man. I mean, when you got 3-year-olds that can read a box score, man, it's important, right? You got when you got 4-year-old girls cussing you out in the outfield, telling you suck. You know it's important, right? So it's really it's a way of life. It's a way of life.
Right.
It's a different way of life.
It really
Look,
is.
I'm out here in California. Look at this. They're on the beach. They don't care what happens at night. They don't even know who the Dodgers are playing. You know what I mean? But it's it is. In Anaheim, they don't know what's going on either. Disneyland's still going. But it's just a way of life. In New York, they know who's pitching today. They know what time the game starts, and everybody's in tune. And Yankees have to win so dinner can taste good tonight, man. Otherwise, somebody at the table gonna be pissed off.
Yeah, that is true. Hey, man, Ryan, Greg, Joe, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you so much, man. And you guys have a great Father's Day. Hopefully, Holy Spirit to get us back in the group next week as we do our group chat. Joe, you got to come back and give us the WNBA update. We ran out of time, but you can do that next week.
Happy
Hey, happy
Okay.
Father's
Father's
Day,
Day. Yeah, happy
all of
Father's
you.
Day to you
Happy
guys,
Father's
fellas.
Day, folks.
Hey, to the rest of the world, happy Father's Day, man. And hey, it doesn't cost anything to be nice to somebody. It doesn't cost anything to be nice.
That is
Let's
true.
make this world a better place.
And we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it at that until next week. God bless. Peace. See you.